What if the only thing standing between you and success is speed, not talent, not luck, not even money, just how fast you move? Right now, someone with less experience than you is winning. Someone with fewer resources is building something powerful. Why? Because they decided to act before they felt ready. They didn't wait for the perfect plan. They didn't wait for confidence. They moved and figured it out along the way. Most people live in hesitation. They overthink, overanalyze, and overprepare until opportunities disappear. But winners, they operate differently. They understand one powerful truth: massive action creates massive results. Imagine where your life could be if you stopped waiting and started executing. Imagine compressing years of growth into months. Imagine becoming unstoppable, not because you're perfect, but because you refuse to stay still. In this video, you're going to discover the exact mindset and principles you need to take massive action and win early in life. Not someday, not next year, now. Watch until the end, because one of these lessons could completely change the trajectory of your future. Lesson 1. Clarity comes from action, not thinking. The fundamental mistake most people make when embarking on a new journey is the belief that they must possess a complete panoramic view of the destination before they take their first step. This analysis paralysis is a sophisticated form of procrastination that masquerades as preparation. We convince ourselves that if we just read one more book, attend one more seminar, or sketch out one more contingency plan, the fog of uncertainty will lift. However, clarity is not a prerequisite for movement. It is a byproduct of it. The path ahead is shrouded in mist, and it only reveals the next 10 feet once you have traversed the 10 feet currently before you. You cannot think your way into a new way of acting, you must act your way into a new way of thinking. When you remain stationary, your mind is forced to simulate reality, creating hypothetical scenarios that are often more frightening or complex than the reality itself. Action, conversely, provides you with immediate high-fidelity feedback. Every move you make, whether it results in a win or a loss, serves as a data point that narrows your focus. If you try a marketing strategy and it fails, you haven't just lost time, you have gained the specific clarity that that specific avenue is not the way forward. This elimination of options is just as valuable as the discovery of the right one. It is the difference between guessing where the light switch is in a dark room and reaching out to feel the walls until you find it. Momentum is the engine of clarity. When you are in motion, your psychological state shifts from one of doubt to one of problem solving. In a state of rest, a small obstacle looks like an insurmountable wall. In a state of momentum, that same obstacle looks like a hurdle to be cleared or a detour to be mapped. This shift in perspective is what we call vision. True visionaries don't have a crystal ball, they have an incredible capacity for trial and error. They understand that the roadmap is written in pencil, not ink, and that the act of walking is what sharpens the lines. By the time the destination becomes clear, they are already halfway there, while the thinkers are still arguing over the starting line. To truly embrace this lesson, you must reframe your relationship with failure. Stop asking, "What if this doesn't work?" and start asking, "What is the fastest way to test if this works?" This shift from a fear-based mindset to an experiment-based mindset removes the emotional weight of decision-making. If every action is simply an experiment to gain data, then there are no mistakes, only results. This radical transparency with yourself allows you to move with a level of speed and conviction that leaves others bewildered. You aren't smarter than the competition, you are simply more willing to be wrong in public so that you can eventually be right in private. Ultimately, the universe rewards movement. There is a profound spiritual and psychological shift that occurs when you commit to a course of action. Resources you didn't know existed begin to appear, and people who can help you suddenly enter your orbit. This isn't magic, it's the result of your focus narrowing. When you are just thinking, your energy is scattered in 1,000 directions. When you take action, your energy is a laser beam. That intensity creates its own gravity, pulling in the clarity you seek. You don't need to see the whole staircase, you just need to trust that the next step will be firm enough to hold you while you look for the one after it. Lesson 2. Speed is your competitive advantage. In a hyper-connected, rapidly evolving global economy, the old adage that slow and steady wins the race has become an obsolete relic. Today the race is won by those who can process information, make decisions, and execute faster than the market can react. Speed is not just a tactical choice, it is a psychological weapon. When you move with velocity, you minimize the window for self-doubt to creep in. You deny your inner critic the time it needs to construct an argument for why you should stop. Speed creates a sense of inevitability around your goals, making your success a matter of when rather than if. The difference between the elite and the average is the speed of implementation. Most people hear a good idea and wait weeks to act on it, by which time the enthusiasm has waned and the opportunity has shifted. The elite hear an idea and take a concrete step toward it within minutes. This isn't about being reckless, it's about understanding the shelf life of an opportunity. In the time it takes an overanalyzer to draft a 50-page business plan, a high-speed executor has already launched a minimum viable product, gathered customer feedback and pivoted 3 times. The executor is now 3 versions ahead of the person who is still choosing a font for their pitch deck. Speed is also your greatest teacher. If you make 10 decisions a day while your competitor makes 1, you are gaining 10 times the experience. Even if half of your decisions are wrong, you are learning 5 times faster than they are. This compounding effect of rapid learning is what creates the massive gap between industry leaders and the rest of the pack. You are essentially compressed time learning. You are living 3 years of professional growth in 6 months because you are willing to move through the cycles of trial and error at an accelerated pace. Winners separate themselves early by simply being the first to cross the valley of frustration. Decisiveness is the engine of speed. Many people confuse speed with hurrying, but hurrying is a state of panic, whereas speed is a state of flow. To move fast, you must become comfortable making decisions with only 70% of the information you wish you had. If you wait for 100% certainty, you are already too late. Being decisive means accepting that you will have to adjust mid-flight. It is the ability to steer a moving vehicle rather than trying to point a parked car in the right direction. Slow decisions are the primary cause of organizational and personal stagnation. They create bottlenecks that choke off creativity and kill morale. Furthermore, speed acts as a filter for your environment. When you move fast, you naturally repel those who are looking for a slow, comfortable ride and attract those who are hungry for growth. It sets a culture of excellence and urgency. If you are a leader, your speed dictates the tempo of the entire team. If you are an individual, your speed dictates the quality of the opportunities that come your way. The world is full of brilliant people who are waiting for the right time. The winners are the ones who realize that the right time is a myth, and that the only advantage that cannot be easily replicated by a competitor is the sheer pace at which you outwork and outlearn them. Lesson 3. Take imperfect action daily. The quest for perfection is perhaps the most common and socially acceptable form of self-sabotage. We label ourselves perfectionists as if it were a badge of honor, but in reality, perfectionism is a shield. It is a way to protect ourselves from the vulnerability of being judged on our actual output. If we never finish, we can never be criticized. However, the market doesn't reward perfect ideas that stay in a drawer, it rewards good enough products that are actually in people's hands. To take massive action, you must kill the part of you that demands everything be flawless before it sees the light of day. Imperfect action is superior to perfect inaction because it exists in the physical world. A messy workout is infinitely more beneficial for your health than the perfect workout that only exists in your head. A poorly written first draft can be edited into a masterpiece, but a blank page offers nothing to work with. When you commit to taking imperfect action daily, you are prioritizing the habit of showing up over the vanity of the result. This consistency is where the magic happens. Success is not found in the occasional heroic effort. It is found in the mundane daily grind of doing the work even when the work feels mediocre. Consistency builds a psychological momentum that perfectionism can never touch. When you act daily, you are training your brain to identify as a doer. This identity becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. On days when you don't feel like working, the momentum of your previous days of imperfect action carries you through. You realize that you don't need to be on to be productive. You can be tired, uninspired, and frustrated and still produce something. That something is a brick in the wall of your long-term success. Over time, these bricks accumulate into a fortress while the perfectionist is still staring at a pile of blueprints. The beauty of daily imperfect action is that it allows for incremental improvement. In Japanese philosophy, this is known as kaizen. Instead of trying to leap from 0 to 100 in a single bound, you focus on being 1% better today than you were yesterday. This 1% is manageable. It doesn't trigger the brain's fear response the way a massive perfect goal does. Because the pressure to be perfect is removed, you are free to experiment and play. Ironically, this freedom often leads to higher quality work than the rigid, high-pressure approach of the perfectionist ever could. You find flow because you aren't afraid of making a mess. The world is paved with the abandoned projects of perfectionists who got discouraged the moment things got difficult or ugly. If you want to stand out, you simply have to be the person who is willing to be seen in their beta phase. Show your work while it's still in progress. Get feedback while the edges are still rough. This transparency builds trust with your audience and allows you to build something that people actually want rather than what you think they want. Execution is a skill that must be practiced, and like any skill, you will be bad at it before you are good at it. Embrace the bad so you can eventually reach the great. Lesson 4. Emotion drives action. We like to think of ourselves as rational creatures who make decisions based on logic, data, and cold hard facts. However, neuroscience tells a different story. Logic might provide the direction, but emotion is the fuel. You can have the most logical plan in the world, but if you don't have a deep, visceral why behind it, you will abandon that plan the moment things get difficult. Logic can tell you how to take action, but only emotion can make you want to. To sustain massive action over the long haul, you must tap into the primal drivers of human behavior: hunger, desire, and the refusal to stay the same. If you find yourself procrastinating, it's rarely a time management problem, it's an emotional alignment problem. You haven't made the consequences of inaction painful enough or the rewards of action compelling enough. You need to develop a magnificent obsession. This is an emotional state where your goal becomes so important that the obstacles in your way become irrelevant. When you are driven by a powerful emotion, whether it's the desire to provide for your family, the anger at being underestimated, or the pure joy of creation, hesitation disappears. You don't have to try to be motivated. The emotion pulls you forward. Urgency is an emotional state that acts as a catalyst for massive action. Most people live as if they have an infinite amount of time, which leads to a casual approach to their goals. Winners, however, cultivate a sense of existential urgency. They understand that every day spent in stasis is a day lost forever. They use the reality of their own mortality not as a source of depression but as a source of power. When you realize that your time is the only truly non-renewable resource you have, you stop wasting it on trivialities. This emotional weight transforms a should into a must. You must also learn to harness negative emotions and channel them into productive output. Disgust can be a powerful motivator. The feeling of being disgusted with your current bank balance, your current fitness level, or your current lack of progress. When you decide that enough is enough, you create an emotional fire that burns through excuses. Similarly, healthy competition can provide the spark needed to push past your previous limits. These emotions aren't bad, they are energy. Like fire, they can either burn your house down or power a steam engine. The key is to direct that emotional energy toward your specific daily actions. To keep your emotional engine running, you must constantly revisit your purpose. Your why must be bigger than your how. On the days when the logic fails, when the numbers don't add up or the strategy isn't working, your emotional connection to the mission is what will keep you in the game. Connect your daily tasks to the people you love, the legacy you want to leave, and the person you are becoming. When your work becomes an act of devotion or a pursuit of freedom, you will find a reservoir of energy that the logical person can't even imagine. Emotion makes you move, and movement makes you a winner. Lesson 5. Raise your standards, not your excuses. The trajectory of your life is not determined by your goals, but by your standards. A goal is something you would like to achieve. A standard is the baseline of what you are willing to tolerate. Everyone has goals: to be rich, to be fit, to be successful, but very few people have the standards required to reach them. If you tolerate excuses, you will always find them. If you tolerate mediocrity in your daily habits, mediocrity is what you will produce. To take massive action, you must undergo a fundamental shift in what you consider acceptable behavior for yourself. Winners don't negotiate with their excuses because they have moved beyond the negotiation phase of their development. When you are operating at a high standard, taking action is no longer a choice you make every morning based on how you feel. It is simply who you are. It is a non-negotiable part of your identity. Just as you don't negotiate whether or not to brush your teeth, you shouldn't negotiate whether or not you're going to do the work required for your success. Raising your standards means moving from "I'll try" to "I will," and from "if I feel like it" to "because I said I would." Excuses are the nails used to build a house of failure. They are often grounded in some shred of truth. You are tired, the economy is tough, you don't have enough experience, but they are irrelevant to the outcome. When you raise your standards, you acknowledge the obstacles but refuse to give them power. You become solution-oriented rather than problem-focused. If you don't have the resources, your standard dictates that you become resourceful. If you don't have the time, your standard dictates that you audit your life and cut out the distractions. Your results are a direct reflection of what you have decided to accept from yourself. This shift requires a high level of self-discipline, which is often misunderstood. Discipline is not about self-punishment, it is about self-respect. It is the ability to choose what you want most over what you want now. When you raise your standards, you are essentially saying that your future self is more important than your current comfort. This creates a powerful internal alignment. You stop looking for external motivation because you have an internal compass that always points toward action. You become the kind of person who does the hard things precisely because they are hard, knowing that the difficulty is the filter that keeps the competition out. Finally, your standards are contagious. When you raise the bar for yourself, you naturally raise the bar for everyone around you. You stop attracting excuse makers and start attracting action takers. This environment further reinforces your new standards, creating a virtuous cycle of growth. Remember, you don't get what you want in life, you get what you settle for. If you settle for excuses, you'll get a life full of almosts and could-have-beens. If you settle for nothing less than excellence and relentless action, you will eventually find yourself among the few who actually live their dreams. Raise your standards today and your results will inevitably follow. At the end of the day, success isn't about knowing more, it's about doing more. You don't need another course, another book, or another plan. What you need is action. Massive, relentless, consistent action. Because every moment you wait, someone else is moving ahead. The truth is simple, your future is created by what you do today. Not tomorrow, not someday, today. You have ideas, you have potential, you have dreams, but none of that matters without execution. The difference between those who win early and those who struggle for years comes down to one thing: who is willing to act faster and persist longer. So make a decision right now, not later, right now. What is one action you can take immediately after this video? Do it. No hesitation, no excuses. Because the life you want is on the other side of massive action. And once you start moving with purpose, speed, and certainty, winning early won't just be possible, it will be inevitable.